There's a world of difference between a story that just explains what happened and one that makes you feel it. So many of us have stories, but we struggle to turn them into something that truly connects, something that can become an actual lifeline for someone who's lost. So let's talk about that. Let's break down how you can take your own story from a simple insight into a real, powerful impact. This is where so many stories start, and honestly, where a lot of them stop. Things were hard. It's an explanation, right? It gives us the basic information, but it keeps us at a distance. It's like knowing someone was in a storm versus actually feeling the cold rain on your own skin. It's just insight. It's not an experience. Okay, now feel the difference there. This doesn't just tell you things were hard. It puts you right there in the middle of it. You're in that room. You can practically feel that sticky floor under your feet. That isn't just insight anymore. That is impact. It's a feeling that hits you right in the gut, and that's where the real connection, the real help, actually begins. So the first step, section 1, forging your lived experience. This is all about turning your past into what you could call a truth document. You have to move beyond just explaining what happened and instead forge your past into something raw, human, and real, something that feels absolutely undeniable to anyone who reads it. And this really shows that shift in perspective, right? Instead of saying, I was struggling, your job is to pull the reader right inside that moment of struggle with you. Instead of just saying, I lost control, you make them feel that terrifying freefall feeling right alongside you. You're not letting them be a spectator anymore, you're making them a passenger. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to want to create that feeling, but how do you actually build it? How do you take all that chaos and give it a shape so that someone else can actually see a path through it? Well, here's the method. It's like a 3-layer structure for every single key moment in your story. First, you have the scene. That's what happened on the outside, what people saw. Then you have the state. That's the internal chaos, what you were feeling but maybe couldn't even put a name to at the time. And finally, the realization, the clarity you have now looking back. So it's what happened, what it felt like, and what it all means. Each layer just adds so much depth. And when you use this structure, a single moment, like waking up in a hospital or a single phone call, it stops being just another event on a timeline. It becomes the whole pivot point. It's the chapter where everything changed, and it becomes loaded with a meaning that can actually light the way for someone else walking in the dark. Okay, so once you've built that raw human story, what's next? Well, the next evolution is to build something out of it. Let's get into section 2, building a usable system. This is where a personal philosophy becomes a revolutionary framework that other people can actually use in their own lives. This line right here, this is everything. It completely reframes the whole conversation. It takes something that can feel like a life sentence, a diagnosis, a label, and it turns it into an opportunity. It's not a wall you hit. It's a doorway you can walk through to understand yourself better and figure out how to take back control. But to make that doorway useful, you need a system, especially for when things get intense. This 4-part framework is designed for someone under pressure. You start with a quick, real-life snapshot. Then you identify the signal, that feeling inside that tells you things are about to go south. You pinpoint the decision point, that exact moment where you normally lose it. And then you give yourself a practical tool, something different to do instead. It's all about turning panic into a concrete plan. And it is so important to be clear about this. This kind of approach isn't anti-medical. Not in the slightest. It's all about empowerment. It's pro-awareness of what's happening inside you, pro-responsibility for what you do next, and pro-understanding of your own patterns. It's designed to work with professional help, never to replace it. I mean, this is such a critical concept, especially for anyone who feels that intense energy inside them. The same fire that can burn your entire life to the ground can be channeled to build something absolutely incredible. That fire isn't the problem. The real game changer is having the awareness and the structure to aim it in the right direction. So you've got the raw story and a practical system. But what about just a normal Tuesday morning, What about the day-to-day grind? The third evolution of this is creating a daily guide, a real companion for the long, quiet moments of the journey. Think about it. A powerful story might change your outlook for a day, maybe even a week. But that kind of inspiration, it always fades. The real question is, what do you give someone for those ordinary, hard moments when the motivation is gone and they feel totally and completely alone? The answer has to be simple. And it has to be real. No fluff. This format works because it's so grounded. It starts by just acknowledging a real moment of struggle. Then it reframes it with a simple, powerful truth. And then it gives you a direct, non-negotiable action. It's not about trying to think your way out of a hole. It's about moving your way through it, one tiny step at a time. And this daily guide, it's not random. It's anchored by a really clear and simple philosophy. By setting up these core pillars, your health, your family, your life, you give every small action a much deeper purpose. You're not just drinking water, you're choosing health. You're actively choosing to live. And now we bring it all together. The raw story, the usable system, the daily guide, they all serve a much higher purpose. They lead to this. Section 4, Becoming Living Proof. This is the ultimate role of a storyteller who has been through it all and come out on the other side. This completely redefines your role. You are not a victim who needs pity. You are not a hero to be put on a pedestal. And you are certainly not some guru who has all the answers. Your role is something way more grounded and infinitely more powerful. You are proof. You become living, breathing proof that it's possible. Proof that a person can be completely shattered and still put the pieces back together. And for someone who is lost in the dark right now, that is everything. They don't need another hero to admire from afar. They need proof that survival is a real option for them too. And really, this is the final, undeniable message that cuts through all the noise. It's a declaration of survival. For anyone listening to this right now who feels broken, who feels lost, this is the ultimate truth. To have gone through the absolute worst and still be able to say, I'm still here, well, that means there is a way through. It means it is not too late for you.